Let me ask you something. When it comes to hiring, is your team just putting out fires, scrambling to fill empty seats, or is it something more? Is it the strategic engine that's actually building your company's future? Today, we're going to dig into how you can make that transformation from reactive firefighting to future-proofing your entire organization.
I love this quote because it just nails the journey we're about to explore. It's about a massive mindset shift, right? Moving away from seeing hiring as just, paperwork and scheduling, and towards seeing it as literally architecting the talent that's going to drive your company forward.
So let's just cut to the chase. I want you to think about your own company for a second. Are you just plugging gaps whenever they pop up? Or are you strategically hunting for the people who will define your success, not just this year, but 5, 10 years from now? That question, that's really the heart of our whole diagnostic journey today.
To help you figure out exactly where you stand, we're going to use this really powerful 4-stage model. Think of it as your map. It's going to show you where you are right now, and maybe more importantly, it'll show you the path to get where you want to go.
So here they are, the 4 stages of recruitment evolution. You start out as a vacancy filler. From there, you can level up to structured hiring. Then you evolve into a talent partner. And finally, the ultimate goal, you become a workforce architect. Let's break down what each of these really means. All right, this is where you got to be honest with yourself. As we walk through each of these stages, I want you to really think, where does my company fit in? And hey, no judgment, because you can't start improving until you know exactly where you're starting from. First up, Stage 1, the vacancy filler. The best way to think of this, it's the firefighting department. An alarm goes off, someone's quit, and the whole team scrambles to put out the fire. It's 100% reactive, it's all about urgency. So what does this look like in practice? Well, you're only hiring when there's an empty desk. Interviews are basically just informal chats, totally unstructured. You don't have an employer brand to speak of, and this is the big one. You're not collecting any data. You have no idea if the people you're hiring are actually any good. You're flying completely blind. Now let's see how things get better in Stage 2, structured hiring. This is a huge leap forward. Your identity shifts to efficient but operational. See, you're not just fighting fires anymore. You're building a proper fire department with rules and procedures. In Stage 2, you start to see some real progress. You've actually got a hiring process that you can repeat. Interviews are planned out, you've got panels to get different viewpoints, and you might even have a basic strategy for finding candidates. And crucially, you start measuring stuff, like how long it takes to fill a role. It's all about creating order out of the chaos. Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. Stage 3, the talent partner. This is where your recruiting team really starts to earn a seat at the table. Your identity becomes a talent partner, but notice that little warning there, still not fully strategic. You're adding a ton of value for sure, but you're not quite driving the overall business strategy yet.
And man, is this a step up. We're talking about way more sophisticated tools, like competency-based interviews and proper assessments. You're actively building your employer brand, creating talent pipelines for the future. And most importantly, you're measuring the quality of your hires, not just how fast you filled the seat. This is where you go from just filling a role to actually improving the organization.
Now this is a fantastic reality check. A lot of companies, especially mid-sized ones, think they're solidly in Stage 3. But the truth is, most are kind of floating somewhere between 2 and 3. They're doing some of this stuff, but maybe not consistently. Making that jump is tough, but it's absolutely vital.
And that brings us to the top of the mountain. Stage 4, the workforce architect. The identity here is organizational capability architect. I mean, just listen to that. This is no longer a support function. It's a core strategic team that designs and builds the company's ability to win.
So what does this look like? Honestly, it's a game changer. Hiring is completely integrated with the company's long-term plan. You're using predictive models to figure out who you'll need next year, not just next week. You're building your future leaders from the ground up, and your brand is so strong it's a competitive weapon. And here's the kicker. You're measuring the actual business impact of every single hire. Okay, deep breath. You've probably figured out roughly where you are, so now for the big question. How do you level up? This next part is your roadmap. It's how you actually make the journey from one stage to the next. Before we get into the nuts and bolts, you have to understand this. Getting to those higher stages isn't about just doing the old things a little faster or a little better. It takes a fundamental redesign and architectural change in how your company thinks about talent. So let's say you're stuck in that Stage 1 chaos. How do you get out?
You build structural discipline. It's all about the fundamentals. Standardize your process so everyone's on the same page. Create interview guides so you have some consistency. And for goodness sake, start tracking the basics. It's time to get your foundation right.
All right, now for that tricky jump from 2 to 3. This is where you build your capability architecture. It means you stop just asking random questions and start assessing real competencies. You invest in actual tools, like assessment platforms and an applicant tracking system, and you define why someone should work for you, your employer value proposition, and start building pipelines of talent before you even have an open job. And finally, the push to stage 4. This is all about full integration with the business. Your hiring team has to be in the room for those long-term planning meetings. You start using data, maybe even AI, to predict your needs, and you build a specific, rock-solid process for hiring your company's future leaders.
You see, when you finally reach stage 4 and become a true workforce architect, your recruitment team is no longer a cost center. It's a strategic driver of growth. It's an engine for innovation. It's what builds the future of your company, one amazing hire at a time.
So let's end right back where we started. The talent that will define your company's future isn't just going to appear out of thin air. It has to be hired. It has to be built intentionally. So the real question is your team building it?